The auditorium fell silent as General Vex'thor strode onto the stage. His scales glimmered under the harsh fluorescent lights, each one reflecting a different shade of crimson and obsidian. The Kraylan warrior stood 9 feet tall, his forearms folded across his massive chest, in a gesture that screamed superiority. Behind him, his prize student followed. Kael'rix, the undefeated champion of 17 star systems, moved with the grace of a predator who had never known defeat. Pathetic, Vex'thor's voice boomed through the Galactic Combat Academy's main hall. His translator collar rendered his words into 100 languages simultaneously. Is this truly the best the human delegation can offer? These soft creatures? In the third row, Maya Chen sat perfectly still. Her fingers drummed against her thigh, a nervous habit she'd picked up during her years of training. Around her, the other human cadets shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Some looked down. Others whispered angry protests that went nowhere. But Maya, she just watched, calculated, waited. For 3 cycles, I have toured your pathetic academies, Vex'thor continued, his mandibles clicking with what might have been laughter. Your warriors fall, your champions crumble. Your greatest fighters last mere seconds against my student. And yet, you dare call yourselves a warrior species? Commander Blake, the human representative, stood from his seat. General Vex'thor, with respect, your demonstrations have been against our standard combat units. Perhaps if you faced someone with specialized training. Specialized training? Vex'thor's laugh echoed off the walls. It sounded like metal scraping against stone. You mean your elite forces? The ones who cowered in the asteroid belt during the Helix Wars? The same warriors who negotiated surrender before a single shot was fired? Maya's jaw tightened. Her knuckles went white. The Helix Wars, where her brother died. Where humanity learned that the galaxy didn't play fair. Where peace came at the cost of pride. I grow tired of this charade, Vex'thor announced. He gestured toward Kael'rix with 2 of his arms. My student will fight any human in this room, right now. No preparation, no advantages, just raw skill against your supposed ingenuity. He paused, his eyes scanning the crowd with unconcealed contempt. Unless, of course, you're all too frightened? Silence. The kind of silence that feels like drowning. Maya felt every heartbeat in her chest. Boom, 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 each one louder than the last. She thought about Marcus, her brother, who'd sent his last message from a dying ship. She thought about the countless nights of training in gravity wells that would crush normal humans. She thought about the augmentation surgeries she'd endured, the ones that weren't exactly approved by human military standards, the ones that made her different, dangerous. Her hand shot up. I'll fight him, Maya said. Her voice didn't waver, didn't hesitate. Every head in the auditorium turned. Vex'thor's eyes, all 6 of them, focused on the small human female rising from her seat. He studied her for a long moment. Then he laughed. Not the cruel, mocking laugh from before. This was genuine amusement. You? Vex'thor's mandibles clicked rapidly. A female of your species? One who barely reaches my student's midsection? Yeah, me, Maya replied, stepping into the aisle. She rolled her shoulders, feeling the enhanced muscles beneath her academy jacket respond. Unless your student only fights people he outweighs by 300 pounds. That would be pretty selective bravery, wouldn't it? A ripple of gasps moved through the crowd. Nobody talked to Vex'thor like that. Nobody. The general's eyes narrowed. What is your name, human? Cadet Maya Chen, and I'm ready whenever your Wonder Boy is. Commander Blake shot to his feet. Cadet Chen, stand down. That's an order. Maya didn't even glance at him. Her eyes stayed locked on Vex'thor. With respect, Commander, you don't get to tell me what to do right now. The general made an open challenge. I'm accepting it. Vex'thor's laughter died. Something shifted in his expression. Maybe respect. Maybe just curiosity. Very well, Maya Chen, the combat ring. 5 minutes. Standard galactic rules. No weapons, no armor. Just you and Kael'rix. Perfect, Maya said. She smiled, but there was nothing warm in it. That's exactly how I like it. The crowd erupted. Humans shouting for her to stop. Aliens from a dozen species chattering in excitement. Someone started taking bets. The noise swelled until it became almost physical. Maya walked down the aisle toward the exit that led to the combat ring. Her heart still pounded, but now it felt different. Not fear. Anticipation. Behind her, she heard Commander Blake calling her name, ordering her to stop. She didn't. In the corridor outside the auditorium, away from the crowd, she allowed herself one moment of doubt. Just one. Her hands trembled slightly as she pulled off her jacket. The scars from her augmentation surgeries formed patterns across her arms and shoulders. Lines where synthetic muscle fiber had been woven into her natural tissue. Points where neural accelerators connected to her spine. You're insane, Chen. Maya turned. Lieutenant Park stood in the corridor, his face a mixture of concern and something else. Pride, maybe? Probably, Maya admitted. But Marcus would have done the same thing. Marcus was a pilot, not a hand-to-hand specialist. Marcus was an idiot who never backed down from a fight. Guess it runs in the family. Park stepped closer, lowering his voice. Do you even have a plan? Kael'rix has never lost, not once. He's crushed opponents from species that make humans look like children. Yeah, I've got a plan, Maya said. She started walking again, toward the combat ring entrance. Step 1, don't die immediately. Step 2, make that scaly jerk regret mocking us. Step 3, figure out the rest as I go. That's a terrible plan. You got a better one? Park didn't answer. They both knew there wasn't time for better plans. The combat ring sat in the center of the Academy's main training facility. A perfect circle, 50 meters in diameter, surrounded by energy barriers that could withstand starship weapons. Above it, observation platforms accommodated thousands of spectators. The lights were harsh, clinical, designed to eliminate any shadow an opponent might use for advantage. Maya stepped through the entrance portal. The energy field tingled against her skin as she passed through. On the opposite side, Kael'rix entered. Up close, he was even more imposing. His body was a masterpiece of evolutionary warfare. Muscles rippled beneath blue-gray skin. His eyes, cold and calculating, tracked her every movement with predatory focus. General Vex'thor's voice boomed from the observation platform. Combatants, take your positions. This match proceeds under standard galactic rules. Fight until submission, unconsciousness, or death. Do you understand? Understood, Kael'rix said. His voice was surprisingly soft, almost melodic. Crystal clear, Maya replied. Then begin. Kael'rix moved first. Fast. Impossibly fast for something his size. He closed the distance between them in 3 massive strides, his fist already swinging toward Maya's head with enough force to shatter concrete. Maya ducked. Not just moved. Ducked with speed that made several aliens in the crowd gasp. Her neural accelerators kicked in, making the world slow down just enough for her enhanced reflexes to work. Kael'rix's fist whistled through the space where her head had been a microsecond before. She pivoted on her left foot, using her momentum to drive her right elbow into Kael'rix's ribs. The impact made a sound like a hammer hitting armor plate. Kael'rix grunted but didn't retreat. Instead, he spun, his leg sweeping toward her ankles. Maya jumped, flipped backward, landed in a crouch 10 feet away. The crowd went wild. First blood, Maya called out, her voice carrying over the noise. Metaphorically speaking, Kael'rix touched his ribs where she'd struck him. His eyes showed something new. Surprise. You're augmented, he said. Yep. Turns out soft. Weak humans can be pretty creative when they want to survive. Vex'thor's voice cut through the crowd noise. This changes nothing. Kael'rix, end this farce. The Krylon warrior nodded. Then he charged again. This time there was no testing. No caution. Just raw, brutal violence. His attacks came in combinations that would overwhelm any normal opponent. High punch, low kick, elbow strike, knee to the midsection. Each movement flowing into the next with practiced perfection. Maya blocked, dodged, countered when she could. But even with her augmentations, she was being pushed back. Kael'rix was good. Better than good. He was everything General Vex'thor claimed and more. Every time she found an opening, he adapted, learned, closed the gap. A punch got through her guard, caught her in the shoulder. Pain exploded down her arm. She rolled with the impact, using it to create distance. Blood trickled from a split in her lip where she'd bitten down too hard. Having fun yet? Maya asked, spitting blood onto the ring floor. Kael'rix didn't answer. He pressed forward, relentless. Another combination, this one faster, more aggressive. Maya blocked the first 3 strikes, but the 4th caught her in the ribs. Something cracked. She gasped, stumbling backward. The crowd's noise changed pitch, became concerned, worried. The humans in the audience were standing now, some shouting for her to submit, to end it before she got killed. Maya wiped blood from her mouth and smiled. Okay, she said quietly, more to herself than anyone else. Time to stop playing defense. She straightened up, ignoring the pain in her ribs. Her augmentations flooded her system with combat stimulants, pushing back the pain, sharpening her focus. The world snapped into perfect clarity. She could see every detail of Kael'rix's stance, every micro-expression on his face, every slight weight shift that telegraphed his next move. Come on then, Maya said. Let's see what you've really got. Kael'rix charged, and Maya smiled. The moment Kael'rix committed to his charge, Maya moved. Not away, toward him. She closed the distance faster than anyone expected, her augmented muscles propelling her forward like a missile. Kael'rix's eyes widened slightly as she dropped into a slide, passing directly beneath his guard. As she slid past, Maya drove her fist upward into his knee. Not a random strike. A calculated one. She'd been watching his movements for the entire fight, cataloging every step, every weight distribution. His left knee absorbed more impact during his powerful combinations. It was fractionally slower to reset, a weakness so minor that most fighters would never notice. Maya noticed. The joint hyperextended with a wet, popping sound. Kael'rix roared, stumbling sideways. His perfect balance disrupted for the first time since entering the ring. Maya rolled to her feet behind him, her ribs screaming in protest. She ignored the pain. Pain was just information. Right now, it was telling her she was still alive and fighting. "There it is," Maya muttered. "Everybody's got to tell." Kael'rix spun, his face twisted in anger now. The calculated warrior was gone. Something primal had taken over. He lunged at her with both hands extended, trying to grapple. If he got hold of her, his superior strength would end the fight in seconds. Maya sidestepped barely. Her damaged ribs made the movement slower than it should have been. Kael'rix's fingers brushed her shoulder as she passed. Close. Too close. She needed to end this soon. The combat stimulants her augmentations were pumping into her bloodstream had limits. Push too hard for too long and her body would shut down completely. From the observation platform, General Vex'thor's voice boomed. "Kael'rix! Compose yourself. She is goading you into mistakes." Smart general, Maya thought. Too bad your student is too angry to listen. Kael'rix pressed his attack. Harder, faster. Each strike powerful enough to break bones. Maya gave ground, letting him think he was winning. She absorbed glancing blows that left bruises but avoided anything critical. All the while she watched. Learned. Adapted. There. He favored his right side after throwing a left hook. A tiny gap in his defense. Less than a second. But for someone with neural accelerators, a second was an eternity. Maya feinted left. Kael'rix took the bait, swinging his right arm in a wide arc to intercept. She reversed direction mid-movement, her augmented reflexes making the impossible possible. She ducked under his arm, planted her left foot, and drove her right knee into his already damaged left leg. Kael'rix's leg buckled. He dropped to one knee with a grunt of pain. For the first time in the fight, he was below her eye level. Maya didn't hesitate. She spun, building momentum, and delivered a devastating kick to his temple. The impact echoed through the combat ring. Kael'rix toppled sideways, crashing onto the floor. The crowd went silent. Completely silent. Even the automated betting terminals seemed to pause in shock. Maya stood over him, breathing hard. Blood dripped from her split lip. Her ribs throbbed with every breath. She was pretty sure at least 2 were cracked. Maybe 3. But she was standing, and Kael'rix wasn't. "Get up," Maya said quietly. Kael'rix stirred, pushed himself up on one arm. His eyes were unfocused, struggling to track her. But he was moving, trying to stand. The warrior refused to quit. "I said get up." Maya's voice was louder now. Not angry, challenging. "You're the undefeated champion of 17 star systems. This can't be all you've got." On the observation platform, General Vex'thor stood rigid. His mandibles had stopped clicking. Every one of his 6 eyes was locked on the ring. Around him, thousands of spectators watched in disbelief. The aliens whispered among themselves. The humans were shouting now, their voices blending into a wave of sound that washed over everything. Kael'rix made it to his feet, swaying, his damaged knee barely supporting his weight. He raised his fists, but the movement was slow, uncertain. His eyes met Maya's, and something passed between them. Understanding, respect. "You fight well, human," Kael'rix said. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. "Better than I anticipated." "Yeah, well, that's humanity for you," Maya replied. She shifted her stance, ready for whatever came next. "We're full of surprises." Kael'rix lunged one more time. Not a strategic attack, a desperate one. Maya saw it coming from a mile away. She stepped inside his reach, grabbed his extended arm, and used his own momentum against him. A classic judo throw. Nothing fancy, just physics and leverage working together. Kael'rix hit the ground hard. This time he didn't get up immediately. "Stay down," Maya said. She wasn't gloating, just stating a fact. "You've lost." For a long moment, Kael'rix lay there. His chest heaved with each breath. Then slowly he raised one hand, palm open, the universal signal of submission. The crowd exploded. Humans were jumping out of their seats, screaming themselves hoarse. Even some of the alien spectators were showing signs of excitement. Maya stood in the center of the ring, swaying slightly, trying to process what had just happened. She'd won. Against all odds, against a fighter who'd never lost. She'd actually won. The energy barrier around the ring dropped. Commander Blake was the first through, followed by Lieutenant Park and half the human delegation. Medical teams rushed toward Kael'rix, who was still on the ground, being helped into a sitting position by his trainers. Chen. Commander Blake grabbed her shoulders. Are you all right? Can you stand? I'm standing right now, sir, Maya pointed out. Then her legs decided they'd had enough. She stumbled, and Blake caught her. Okay, maybe standing is optional. You absolute maniac, Park said, but he was grinning. That was the most reckless, stupid, amazing thing I've ever seen. Thanks, I think, Maya managed. The adrenaline was wearing off now, and every injury was making itself known. Loudly. Did we win? I didn't imagine that, right? You won, Blake confirmed. He helped her toward the medical team waiting at the edge of the ring. You actually won. General Vex'thor descended from the observation platform. His forearms hung at his sides as he approached. His expression was unreadable. When he reached the ring's edge, he stood there for a moment, just looking at Maya. Then he did something nobody expected. He bowed, not a slight nod. A full, deep bow that spoke of genuine respect. I underestimated your species, Maya Chen, Vex'thor said when he straightened. His voice lacked the mocking tone from before. I assumed softness meant weakness. I assumed your reliance on technology made you fragile. I was wrong. Maya tried to stand straighter, ignoring her protesting ribs. With respect, General, that's a mistake a lot of species make. We're not the strongest. We're not the fastest. We're definitely not the most intimidating. She paused, meeting his eyes. But we're stubborn. We adapt. We find ways to win that nobody sees coming. Vex'thor's mandibles clicked, but this time it sounded thoughtful rather than contemptuous. My student was trained in the finest combat academies of 3 empires. He has defeated warriors from species that have been fighting for millennia. Yet you, with your augmentations and your human ingenuity, found his weakness within minutes. I had good motivation, Maya said. You insulted my entire species, and my brother died fighting your people's wars. That tends to focus the mind. A heavy silence fell over the group. Vex'thor studied her with what might have been new understanding. The Helix Wars. You lost someone there. We all lost someone there, Maya said quietly. That's what wars do. They take people away and leave holes that never really fill in. Kael'rix approached, limping heavily, but refusing assistance from his trainers. He stopped in front of Maya and executed a shallow bow. You are a true warrior, Maya Chen. I am honored to have faced you. Same, Maya said. She extended her hand. After a moment's hesitation, Kael'rix clasped it. His grip was gentle, careful not to injure her further. You're really good, like scary good. If my ribs could talk, they'd tell you themselves. A hint of a smile crossed Kael'rix's face. Perhaps when we both heal, we could train together. I would learn much from your techniques. Deal, Maya agreed. But next time, maybe with less actual bone breaking. Commander Blake cleared his throat. General Vex'thor, I believe this demonstration has proven its point. Humanity may not have the physical advantages of other species, but we bring our own strengths to the Galactic Council. Vex'thor nodded slowly. Indeed, I came to your academies expecting to find weakness. Instead, I found resourcefulness, determination, and a willingness to face impossible odds with nothing but skill and courage. He turned to address the crowd still, gathered around the ring. Let it be known that General Vex'thor of the Kael'rix Empire recognizes humanity as a warrior species. Any who mock them as weak or soft will answer to me personally. The crowd erupted again. This time, the aliens joined the humans in their celebration. Maya felt the weight of 1,000 eyes on her, and suddenly the arena felt too small, too crowded. She needed air, space, time to process everything. Sir, permission to be dismissed for medical treatment? Maya asked Blake. Granted. Get those ribs looked at immediately. Maya nodded and started toward the exit, Park supporting her on one side. Behind her, she heard Vex'thor's voice boom out one more time. Maya Chen, the general called. She turned back. You asked who could defeat my student. The answer, it seems, is a human girl with more courage than sense and the skill to back it up. Remember this day. You have changed how the galaxy sees your species. Maya managed a tired smile. Just trying to keep up the family tradition, General. Stubborn, remember? As they left the combat ring, Park leaned close. You know you're going to be famous now, right? Every news service in the galaxy is going to want to interview the human who beat Kael'rix. Great, Maya muttered. Can they wait until my ribs aren't trying to kill me? Probably not. Fantastic. They walked through the corridors of the academy, past groups of cadets who stared and whispered. News traveled fast. By the time they reached the medical wing, Maya's name was already trending on 17 different galactic news networks. Somewhere, in a little apartment on Earth, her mother was probably having a heart attack watching the replays. The medical scanner hummed as it analyzed her injuries. Dr. Yates, a veteran human physician who'd seen everything, whistled low. 3 cracked ribs, severe bruising across your entire torso, a mild concussion, and enough micro-tears in your augmented muscles to keep you in therapy for a month. What did you fight, a cargo hauler? Close enough, Maya said. Can you patch me up? I can stabilize you. The rest is going to take time and rehabilitation. You pushed your augmentations past their recommended limits. Keep doing that and you'll burn them out completely. Worth it though, right? Yates paused in his work, meeting her eyes. Yeah, kid. This time it was worth it. But don't make a habit of it. You're not indestructible, regardless of what those fancy implants make you think. Noted. 3 hours later, wrapped in medical bandages and pumped full of healing accelerators, Maya sat in a small observation room overlooking Earth. The planet rotated slowly below, blue and white and impossibly beautiful. Lieutenant Park had brought her there, knowing she'd need some quiet after everything. They're calling it the upset of the century, Park said, scrolling through his datapad. The human girl who defeated the undefeated. Vex'thor's already been contacted by 3 major news networks requesting interviews. They want him to explain how his student lost. What's he saying? Maya asked. That he didn't lose. He learned. And that humanity deserves a formal apology for his previous comments. Park looked up from the datapad. You did that, Chen. You changed the narrative. Maya stared at Earth, thinking about Marcus. About all the humans who died in conflicts they didn't start, fighting battles they didn't choose. We're not weak, she said quietly. We never were. We just needed someone to prove it. And that someone was you. This time. Maya smiled despite the pain in her ribs. Next time, it'll be somebody else. That's how we work. We lift each other up. We stand together. And when some 9-foot alien general decides to mock us, she looked at Park, her eyes bright with determination. We raise our hands and show them exactly what humanity is made of. Outside the observation window, Earth continued its eternal rotation. Somewhere down there, millions of humans were watching the fight replays, sharing the story, finding pride in what one of their own had accomplished. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for the last time. Maya Chen had raised her hand, and the galaxy would remember.